flint and steel.
The Nether.
Chicken jockey. I am Steve.
Malgosha, more like Midgosha. Now, look, I know my last video about a Minecraft movie didn't do as well as I expected, but I figured out the problem. I was playing on Bedrock Edition Minecraft. So who cares about that? And let me put some real gameplay of Java Edition Minecraft up on the screen right now. Much better, you gotta admit. Much more pleasing on the eyes and much more fun to watch. Anyways, last week I made a Minecraft movie video, and the previous week I made a video about a Minecraft movie, but it was an April Fool's joke. And now I am making a video on a Minecraft movie because we had Maxime Lamal, Nalo, and the Chameleon, and it's time to push ourselves a bit in a better direction and discuss a villain that surprised me kinda. Now, I am not going to be the critic you may think of me as, because I actually really liked a Minecraft movie. It is single-handedly the worst movie of the year and also the funniest movie I've seen in a long time. If you don't believe me, then check out my theater.
The Nether.
Now with that out of the way, sadly I am going to go a little bit more into the critical views of everything because I actually have a reason to and don't hate fun as much as a lot of you probably think I do. If you've seen my track record at least. Malgosha is the main villain of the movie, a piglin empress queen that rules over the Nether with the goal of taking over the overworld to get more gold for her empire. Kingdom, queendom, something, I don't know. Now, if you aren't an avid Minecraft fan, you should know that Malgosha doesn't actually exist in the game and was an original character for this specific movie. Her villainy is something that by the beginning of the movie made me worried due to her purpose, since the Ender Dragon is usually the final boss of the main game and the thing you slay before getting the credits of Minecraft, which after over a decade, I have still not fully read. Now, last time I invited a new idea to an older concept, but in this case, we needed to dive into Malgosha's flaws and strengths, and overall how a Minecraft movie teaches us how to write a mid-villain. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe while you watch, and check out my memberships to get access to videos before anyone else on Earth gets to. Now, when I was talking about other infamous villains on this channel, I have been talking about how to write a boring villain, or a sucky one, or just how not to write a villain in general with Nalo. God, that was such an awful movie. Now, what's fun about this time around is that I am going to treat this like all these villains were made by the same person, even though they weren't. Now, I must say that congrats, one fictitious person. You have made a better villain than your last 3 failed attempts that kickstarted this channel. And by the way, dear viewer, please remember Maxime Lamal out of all of them because he will be really important later on. Now we have a villain that is pretty mid, to say the least. Sure, this is an upgrade, but villainy is something that can be executed perfectly if you know what you want, and somehow a Minecraft movie doesn't necessarily know what its villain wants to be, but they do have a much better grasp on what it wants to be, and with some much better writers than last time. So, with Malgosha, this writer had an intent on making a villain that serves as a real villain that is supposed to be feared, but there are some drawbacks that may not be what this writer was actually wanting, but was forced into having in order to get some quick laughs. Now, if you don't know, you can't usually make a villain that is both comedic and scary unless you really have an understanding of how to balance it and create a consistent tone. So I think we should talk about the strengths of Malgosha before finding places next time we can improve on in the sequel that's already in talks with the Ender Dragon, Herobrine, or any other creature they decide to create into the next villain. Now, Malgosha's strengths usually come from her design, plan, and power. Her design utilizes the darkness with a mysterious and ominous element to make her feel uncanny. Having a villain with a good design is something that can create a sense of fear just by looking at them, and usually a darker set of colors is the way to go unless you know how to exploit the human mind to fear whatever you want. By giving her purple eyes as well, it allows for her to also have some uniqueness compared to some of the other piglins around, and although somewhat smaller than some of the others, she is more menacing based on the performance the actress who plays her gives to bring that kind of creepy and uncanny design to life. Now, relating to her design, she is meant to be the queen of the Nether, which is accomplished by her staff, but also by her plan to get more gold for her empire. Her plan consists of using the orb, cube, thing, whatever you want to say, in order to cast a darkness across the overworld so piglins can enter without zombifying. We'll get back to that later. And mine there for more gold since the piglins love gold a lot, I guess. It's a solid plan, it's not unreasonable, and it matches what we are told is needed by the piglins. Speaking of piglins, something that may be the best part of her villainy is the power she holds. Even without the orb/cube thing, she still has a great deal of power and support for her workers. She's strong and has capable henchmen that would do anything for her, and shows that off by literally killing a baby piglin, showing a sort of no mercy no matter how small and insignificant, which is a strong opener to really make the audience know what she's capable and willing to do to get more gold. Now with a mid-villain though, there is a balance between good aspects and bad aspects. Sometimes I feel we forget that mid actually means meh, and like a middle grade at around 50%, good and 50% bad. So let's talk about that 50% bad.
They love crushing loaf.
Now although Malgosha has some good villain qualities, there are parts of the good that are affected by the bad. 3 things that could have been improved on would be backstory, motivation, and tone. So for her backstory, a serious villain and threat to the world that she was established as is suddenly broken during the movie when Steve reveals that her dance moves made her evil. So apparently during the annual Nether's Got Talent, people laughed at her so she became evil, and I'm not kidding, that's her whole backstory. This is something that I discussed in my Maxime Lamal video, where his backstory and reasoning for hating Gru is because Gru used Maxime's song without knowing at a talent show, which happened to be a song titled Karma Chameleon. Kung Fu Panda 4 should have taken that karma part of the song to heart when they thought they were getting clever. Now with this complete departure of a story, it doesn't take Malgosha seriously anymore. It's this downward spiral the movie takes for a throwaway gag by sacrificing a better flashback and ruining some of the tone of Malgosha. But we're not done yet. Motivation is another big one because it goes hand in hand with her flashback. Her motivation to destroy all creativity is because of her being laughed off stage for dancing, and completely also ruins any other possibility where they could have made her villain arc more impactful. I'm not saying all villains need to be serious and dark, but if you're showcasing your villain as serious and dark, then you need to create consistency and not just give up when it's gone too long without a joke. All of this together ruins the tone of Malgosha, from going from a villain to be feared to a villain to laugh at because she's pathetic. I will admit though that the joke at the end of the movie with the sneak attack knife thing was a well put together joke and absolutely was hilarious, but it really goes to show that they gave up on her character and just decided that this will be her legacy. They really dropped the ball halfway through the movie and decided to let it roll away without picking it back up because they wanted to add in some throwaway gags to ruin Malgosha's legacy. One final thing I will say is that overall, the movie just doesn't explain the whole zombify thing. There isn't a scene at the end where they're all burning up like how the zombies and skeletons do, so it makes me wonder why it's such a big deal they don't want to zombify, other than looking ugly. It's more of a flaw of the movie, but once again, my theater was eating it up, like how they reacted during this part.
Flint and steel.
And honestly, I wouldn't give up that theater experience for anything, except an actually good Kung Fu Panda 4 movie. Overall, Malgosha is a mid-villain at best. Not bad, but not good, and practically an even split of 50-50. Somehow, I don't hate the movie. I quite liked it actually, and I will continue to like it even though there are major flaws with it. And I knew that even if it didn't hit that like goal, I felt I would need to talk about the movie more in order to prove that I can still critique something that is so bad it's good. Heads up that if I do post something next week, it will probably be a compilation of something because I am going to be wildly busy and will definitely not have a video done in the next 2 weeks, which is fine since nothing is out right now, but I will miss you all while I'm on my little small vacation. But I'm off doing cool things. Maybe you'll even see me in person. There's a chance you run into me in the real world someday and don't even know. But anyways, thank you everybody for watching. I'm Enchanted. Bye.